Yes, a method was created to hold in its essence the profound and the practical. Because what I recognized began to happen to me as this energy began shooting through me and as I had this new awareness, I still had to go to work every day. I still had to take care of certain things in my life. And also the blocks in my life began to show up that needed to be released from my way of being. And so you need practices that help you and assist you when these upsetting times can happen. Because, as much as a light as we are, we have to work in that material world. We have to live in that material world. So how we deal with that world is so important. And then how we connect back to the profound. And what begins to happen, because you're finding a balance between the two, is within time you begin to feel that profound energy. You're in greater connection to it all the time. So the things that you run up against that are your biggest challenges become less. So, but you're constantly moving from one to the other and then allowing the energy of stillness to move through you all the time. So that it's not about just being with your eyes closed. That would not do you any good. I mean, unless you're going to keep your eyes closed and be in that state 24/7. If you're in that experience of stillness with your eyes closed, let's say, 20 minutes even a day, how much is that a part of your day? If it's 24 hours. So you want to have it streaming through you all the time.
Amazing. It's one of the things I found quite curious actually when I first began detoxifying my physical body. It was probably around 10 years ago that the first detox that I ever did, I went from feeling okay to all this stuff pouring out of me and actually felt quite ordinary. And I guess because I hadn't done a detox before, I was quite disorientated and confused about why that was happening. But then when I spoke to friends of mine who were regular, who'd been on that path of detoxification for a while, they just were able to guide me and say, look, it's just material that's being processed through the body for cleansing and purification. And I think with lots of people on the personal development journey as well, things can actually appear to be more challenging. But what's really going on, it seems very similar in that the challenges that are held within the human experience are being released. So more of that light that you talk about can actually shine through that human being.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, very well said.
Now, Marlise,
that is exactly.
sorry. I'm sure there are people on this call that would love to, I guess, experience more of their light that they carry inside of them. And I guess for someone who's coming to this work for the first time, what would be the first thing that you would recommend them do to start moving in that direction?
The very first thing I would recommend is to get a stillness session CD. It's beautiful music and words, and you feel that energy emanating through it. And that energy then can come to you in many different forms. As I said, you can play it at night when you're sleeping. You can listen to it just for 20 minutes. And you could take it on a walk with you, although I wouldn't suggest only taking it on a walk. And I wouldn't suggest playing it in the car. So that's the first step. And then the second step, I would say, if you really want to understand all the elements, is to go online and get the 7 Steps to Stillness, which is a free e-course. And it comes to you every day, and so then there are things to contemplate, and there are things to look at. And as you begin walking through that journey, life already begins to shift and change. And then you can even utilize that stillness session that you got and add it to it so you can have longer stillness sessions. Because there is one attached to it, but it's so nice to luxuriate in that sweet, sweet energy, you know.
Great. And Marlise, I know you shared one story, but I was just wondering if you had any other stories to share of people who have actually stepped forward and opened their life to shining more of their light through this experience of the simplicity of stillness.
Yes, and what I would like to share is that it can happen so simply that, I've literally seen it happening to people who've come to do the work on Facebook and watch how they shifted what they spoke and what they offered. So through doing the Stillness Session CD or coming and doing a teleseminar, all of a sudden, and they'd be sending in messages of, one man that I can think of in particular had lived for years and was diagnosed with, I don't know the exact name, but the depression where you just can't get out of it, and had not seen a shift at all. And everything began shifting and changing for him. And he would write, so you can see it in his writing of what he was becoming aware of and how that changed his perception and how he was able to let go of family differences and how he was able to let go of his own picture of himself and his own self-worth. And bit by bit, literally in 3 months' time, the picture he had on Facebook went from this kind of intense, anxious person to this like smiling, beaming, energy exuding from him human being. And I see this happening to so many people. So it isn't that, that's what I'm saying, you could be anywhere in the world and access what's available. Because think about the electromagnetic fields that surround us. Well, this is an energy that goes way beyond any borders in our mind. So we can connect to it anytime, anywhere. And, I had a session, it was in my beginning days, and I offered a stillness session on the phone, just through breathing and speaking about it to a 6-year-old, and who was going through some challenges with asthma and this and that. And literally within minutes, he jumped up, this is what his mother told me, but I could hear him, and began running around the room going, I feel it! I feel it! He was so excited. And a week later, they said they found him in the bathroom, sitting in the bathtub, like literally in a meditative pose. And his father was a minister at a church and they had never taught him meditation. And the little boy, and they said, what are you doing? And he goes, meditating. So he was already creating his own form of stillness from that one moment in time. And now I got back in touch with them. I hadn't seen them in years. They moved and all of that. And he told me, because of moving and going to a different state and meeting all new people, that here came the challenges. Oh, brand new people, the peer pressure, the bullying. And he said again and again, he keeps going back to that same place. And it's helped him have inspiration of what to do in every incident. So imagine that one time of having that experience at 6 years old. And at 12 years old today, he's still utilizing what he learned. Amazing.
Wonderful. Now, Marlise, we've had questions come in from all around the world, and I thought I'd just pick out some as we go along here. And I guess sort of adding on from what we spoke about earlier, how lots of, in this time of awakening, lots of emotions and blocks and whatever needs to be cleared out are actually coming up for clearing. And we've got a few questions on that theme. So I just thought I'd begin with asking a question from Horiana, who is in Germany. And Horiana asks, how do I center myself in love and forgiveness in the presence of negative emotions and beliefs, which can be noticed by me but not changed forcefully?
So one thing you can begin doing is breathing deep and connecting to that place inside. Because sometimes in a moment of anger or in a moment of upset, you can't find that place. So let's just even take a moment now